time to review the new Passenger album, and it's called Young as the Morning, Old as the Sea. Passenger is a pretty popular name right now, I reckon. It's a project led by, I think his name's Michael Rosenberg, and they've put out folk rock, folk pop, contemporary folk, acoustic folk, folk, but notably bland folk, as they try to bring a glossy finish to this type of folk and make it sound as generic as possible. And usually I don't like to be cynical when I talk about folk, because I know there have been plenty of artists that have managed to bring their own creative spin on the genre. They've managed to be very adventurous with it. And the thing is, I know that Passenger probably could pull through with a vaguely interesting album. When they released Let Her Go as a lead single off the 2012 LP All the Little Lights, I wasn't totally on board with it, but I could at least appreciate how gentle and gorgeous the instrumental was, the strings and the acoustic guitar. I did think the lyrics were a little bit cliched and a little bit sappy, but I could at least appreciate that Passenger were kind of being nice with their music. But over and over again, Passenger have always tried to recreate the same success of Let Her Go by doing the exact same things they did in that song. That's literally all I have to say about this album in the long run, because it's so forgettable, and it's literally Passenger doing the same thing they have for the past couple of years, over and over again for 10 straight tracks. I do appreciate that some of the string sections sound nice, do love a good string section, but as a song, as a whole, the way it pieces together is just completely uninteresting and just so painfully generic. Like, it's so clean, it's so sanitary and overproduced to the point where it just lacks passion, it lacks a soul, it completely just has no personality in it whatsoever. Rosenberg's vocal style, it sounds very vulnerable and timid for a purpose, because that's kind of the tone they try to go for in their music. When he tries to deliver a line that could sound vaguely emotional, there aren't many on this album, but let's just say he does try to do it at one point or another. It's so suppressed, it sounds like he's curled up in a ball trying to squeeze out the last words he possibly can, whilst he's stuck in the fetal position, crying in a pool of his own tears. Towards the very end, that's the only moment where Rosenberg at least starts to show a little bit more passion than usual. And the thing is, that's at the end of the album anyway, so by then it's too late, you know? It's like they completely vetoed any sort of passion or personality for the whole album until the very end, where they were just like, actually, we'll just put that last bit there. We'll keep the last bit there. That'll suffice. Well, I'm afraid it doesn't quite do that, Passenger. Most of their songs basically just sound like this.
I just traded all of my lyrics for this acoustic guitar.
This album is easily getting a 4 out of 10.